All right, so here we go. Try to make it as quick as possible, but it's a big sign, a lot going on. This is for the Loma Linda main entrance here, big boy monument. So let's jump into it. We'll get right into the lay of the land here. So I broke up the frames because there was so many parts. I really kind of broke all the pages out. Usually we can put jigs and stuff into one page with the frame, but this time you just got, oh, and I know you got the frame pieces for the verticals, and you got sort of the interstitial middle parts here, and then the top and the bottom is on their own page. So you have the top curve, look for the little door hatches there, and the bottom part there. Face skins get their own page here, so you got push throughs, look for stud wells, and then I do have some little reference kits there, so look out for that, make sure those get on there. So in the back skins get their own, because there's so many of them, so they'll all have their reference kisses there. Look out for these guys here, we'll go over what those are. And then yeah, there's so many jigs here that they kind of get their own page, so you'll have your top curve jigs, 2 sets, you'll have your splices for those, and then you'll have front and back sets of jigs, since the sign is asymmetrical from the front to the back, so certain jigs are different for certain parts. Look for this little jig here. I mean, look for all the jigs, but this is a little separate little nugget there. These are just for lifting. Got the lift point strengtheners. This is going to be for mounting. So for install, got these bars here, 1/4 inch bars, 1/4 inch washers, and then you'll use these little nuggets here for the reveal. I'll show you what's up, so you can look for those. 063 white for our LED trays. Look for all that. And these are for the light bar. We'll be going over that. This is for the reverse channel glow bar. And let's switch over here to the page turner. We got some 3/8 tough act for the backer of the reverse for the metal bar. And we're going with 1¼ inch clear just because we're trying to keep things a little thinner, and it might be just that much cheaper or whatever. But I already talked to Route. If he can't source 1¼ inch, then we'll just do 1½ inch. But these are the reverse channel letters, as you know. So then we'll have 1/2 inch push throughs, and usual 1/8 inch tough act. And for power boxes, originally I was going to do a double. I'm going to go ahead and send the double over because originally I was thinking that it was going to be mostly 24 volt, but then once we switched over to 12 volt throughout for the acrylic letters, it looks like we'll probably have to increase the amount of power supply. So I was sending over a double. I'm going to go ahead and send over a double anyway because we always need one. But I went ahead and grabbed a quad banger here. If you'll recognize, this is from the Agua Caliente pylon retrofit. So this is the 4. So this should give us plenty. We'll probably need 2 for the 24, and just in case we need more, another one for, or even 2. You know, whatever. We'll have room for that. So the way it's going to work is we're going to go ahead and put the power supplies underneath in the existing base. So there will not be any need for switches or anything like that inside the main box. So that's going to help. So the main box is going to be low voltage. So let's we just start here with the real quick. Let's go over the letters. It's just, you know, how we do. They're going to be little channels there. You're going to put your bend lucks in there, run your leashes. You've got 1024 brass inserts, tap them in, and then we're good to go. I went ahead because I didn't know. I figured you'd probably want to go with maybe like a 1/4 inch or 3/4 inch spacing, but maybe you want to go with 1/2 inch. I'm not sure. Plus, I know that we've got quite a few spacers, so I don't know if you need any or anything like that. So just a note. I went ahead and ordered the brass inserts because we can always use them for the job. But I went ahead and made a count for you, so you'll have 169 of anything. So if you need to do a test, and if you guys want to get the right amount of studs, and or if you just use screws from the back, whatever you want to do, and then you want to go ahead and order your spacers if you don't already have some in stock. Like I said, I don't know what that bin, there's quite a few in the bin, maybe there's enough, I don't know. So I gave you the count here. So if you guys light one up, yeah, you wish you light one up, test it, see what's up, do the math, and then you can order up your own hardware. for mounting these bad boys. Since that's this part here, and then the bar itself, since it's almost, you know, it's almost 12 feet, went ahead and just made it out of 09. So the side profile is probably the easiest way to see what's up. Let's see, it's on its side here. So you're going to have 3/8 clear Tuff-Ack. That'll be this bar here. There's really nothing you need to do as far as fabrication. I made it to where it'll stretch back and forth. It's going to shrink and grow, you know, quite a bit. And then I went ahead and made an active joint right there, so that way it can grow and move when you go to put it on the front of the sign there. And then just to make it really easy, you're just going to fold up one side. The top is the red, so you'll have the middle, you'll have the right side, and then you'll have the left side. You just bend that up as an angle. I mean, you've done this before. I've got cleco holes in the front, and then you'll go ahead and stagger the seams, and the bottom one will be the one in blue here, and it's a little shorter or whatever, and you bend it, and then you can go ahead and lords that one in. So this will be a 3-part, and this will be a 2-part. And then you can see here put together, blues on the bottom. You'll see where the seams are staggered, and it basically self-strengthens till you get to the end. The end, you'll go ahead and do a 1-2. You'll fold over the edge, and then you can either, while you got lords popped, you can close it up with lords, or if you want to throw a tack, that's fine, but you just go ahead and close up the end there. I went ahead and left plenty of room at the end for weld clearance. Here it is all put together. So you got plenty of room. So no matter what you choose to do to close up that end, that'll be fine. And then the bar will slide right on, and then you guys will just drill directly in. I went ahead and staggered the mounting screws out of the way. So you'll go ahead and just use the, you know, number 6 or number 8, whatever plastic screws you guys use for that, you know, like we do. So that should be it, you know, pretty simple there. Then I'm just saying you can just take a chunk of 050 and just put it on the inside. You'll have clearance for that. You should have plenty of room for a piece of 05 to fit wherever the seam is. So you just go ahead and lords on a little chunk of leftover, you know, return material or something, and just go ahead and patch those seams right there. So that takes care of the bar, and then whatever product you run in there. Probably, well, it's probably gonna have to stick with if you're using, you know, 6500 Bendlux here, you're probably gonna want to do some sort of 6500 here to match, whether it's nanos or something, or, you know, or if you want to use Bendlux, it's up to you. So keep that in mind. Now that I'm thinking about it too, the push throughs, you probably want to maybe consider using prisms as well. So that's pretty much why I decided to use a 4-banger for the power supply. So we can jump over here while we're talking about lighting. So this is going to be pushies here, and you're going to have pushies right down here, which are going to be different, you know, than a different glow. Then you'll see that's where the bar goes there, and then you'll have all those letters that you're making there. So maybe you might want to consider a 6500 product for this rather than the GE. So maybe this whole thing becomes Sloan. Whether it's, you know, prisms or whatever you guys want to use. So, but like I say, that's why I sent the 4-banger. So you should have plenty of room. But if not, you know, just keep adding 4-bangers and 2-bangers and whatever you need to do. You got it. So, but yeah, you'll have push throughs here, push throughs along the bottom, and push throughs here, all 1/2 inch. You have all your backers and stuff. So, like I said, it's try to keep it somewhat short, because really this is just it's pushing 22 feet, but essentially the way we've built a normal 8-footer, so you got your curve and all that. So all you're doing is just smashing 2 more signs into one of our normal ones. So everything you do is just, you know, the basic stuff. So you have all your verticals. I have some holes here clearanced for when you put the studs in. So these little weird things like that actually are where you know, holes are going to hit, like that right there. There's nothing I could do about mounting that, because I had to keep. So the layout of these spars was predicated on the back skins. This was the only way to get full-size sheets for the back. So I couldn't really fudge these left or right, because we had to keep these symmetrical and sort of looking good from the back side. So that's the reason why we kind of, because I just wanted to make sure that it kind of had the screw pattern and all of that is going to look somewhat good on the back. So the back skin is completely removable because you got to be able to get in through the front. Obviously the front is completely, you know, lordsed on. Because this is all pushed through and compromised, you can see where you're going to have to like do splice, you know, some funky stuff along here. This also shows where there's like a splice kicker right here to help out in the framing. So you'll keep an eye out for all that. But the backside, speaking of lords and whatnot, that's what these guys are for. So you're just going to lords these, bend these up, and you're going to lords them onto the back side. And that's just going to sit on the frame and give these big old things support, because they're going to be basically 6x6 panels that you're, or no, 5x panels, 5x5 panels. So, you know, kind of holding them up there while you're screwing them on and stuff. So this will just help support, but that's all that is. So, but again, don't lords the back on. So yeah, let's just get to the main work page. So the main thing is, like I said, it's nothing different than you've done. Just a few things to point out. You're going to work from the bottom up. So weld together the reveal. You'll see that in the 1/4 inch, I pointed out these little guys here. You're just going to use these to strengthen this seam here. So you're going to do your cut list, get your bars going, and then stagger the seams. So you'll have the long one here, 45 long one, and then where this little interstitial one goes here, just go ahead and put this kind of in the middle of the 2x2, and then burn it and burn it and burn it, you know, all of that, and then that'll just help kind of strengthen that up. And then once you have this welded as one piece, you'll take the 3 bottom pieces here, and you'll bend up these flanges, and you'll see where, so I'm doing I'm trying a new kind of like a quick no lords version of that for you guys and see how that works. So when you bring these 3 together, let's look at how that looks right here. So if you're looking at a top view, you're going to bonk these 2 flanges together, and then the 2x4 is going to slide right in between there, and then that's going to give you the ability to weld this flange. If you're looking at it from the top, you're going to be able to weld it to the 2x4, but also you're going to be able to just rivet right across, and that's going to bring these 3 together without having to do that patch thing with the lords there. So I'm trying to, because this thing was going to compromise that patch anyway, so I just tried it this way. And then I took 2 jigs that we would use to put the verticals in, and I welded that together, and then I also brought this together. So now this is going to be like a 2-point, or like a 2-purpose thing, where it's going to be a jig that welds this together, and then also that'll be ready for the verts. So that's you can see right there. So you'll be able to plug weld through the jig to nail down this seam, and then go ahead and weld all along here. You'll be able to weld right in here, and you can even weld on this tab. That's why I poked it up. You could weld the flange to the tab and then grind it smooth for the face when you lords it on. But you have plenty to like weld along here. And then this thing, and of course you weld all along here, this is going to really stiffen up this seam. So you'll have that one, and then you'll also have on this side. So again, then you'll just make your bottom. Go ahead and do that, tack it up nice, get all this riveted, get it attacked. Then what you're going to do is just lords on the reveal like you do with all the other monuments that we do. And then I put in the holes here, and you'll be ahead and just throw in some self-tappers all along to kind of just back up that lords. And you're just going to create a nice solid unit of the base plate lords to the reveal. I just gave you some quick shout outs here. Do the math quickly. It's 2.5 with a 1 inch and a 1 inch. So you can just sort of flip this over, get this lined up, get it lordsed on nice, and then you know, it'll look like something like this. So and then once you get that taken care of, then it's the usual 2x4 that we're going to run down the middle. It's just a full stick off the rack. Order up the 20 footers there, and they just go through the top right like that, because that's our lift bar and our structure, and it'll go all the way along the bottom there. So you can see it just, you know, an arbitrary amount sticks out there. Just kind of center it. Doesn't really have to be perfect. So then, but like I say, that 2x4 will just lay right through there. Get that in there. You can go ahead and lords it on, or whatever you do. Just kind of, you probably just lay it in there. But then once you get the reveal to the bottom, then you can start to attach it. Then you just start working your way up from the bottom. So then you can start in by putting in your verticals, because you'll have the base all made and it's all done. Then you can start in with your sides and then just start working your way up. The top is kind of like what we do. These jigs here go to the back side. You have your left and your left and your right and your right. That's as you look at it from the front. So this is your left side, this is your right side. And then you just push them back. So this side will always face forward, and then you just push the next one back. Like I say, these go to the back. They have cleco spots here to, to line up on the bottom. And then they also utilize random holes that will be there for the top skin. So similar to what you do, you just do the top, kind of do that separate. The top will have lift point holes for install, 2 little hatches. These are 6-foot straps mimicking, and it's the 2 6-foot straps would get you right to this point here. So you'll choke the bar right next to the lift point right there, and then straps will go right out the holes. So top Skinzzz is on this page. So they're in 4 pieces. I already talked to Adrian about this. You'll bend this, and you'll bend this right here, and then you can rivet it together, and it'll be sort of like a no lords, no weld seam. And then you'll have that end. But just like you guys do, you'll just kind of put it all 4 pieces together. You'll lords the hatch up underneath, and then that creates the door, the little lid there. So that'll all be set, and then you can tack in your jigs, get those tacked in, create the top. So working from the bottom, you'll get all this in, get all this structure, slide these in, slide in your 2x2s. You got vertical 2x2s, slide those in, and then once all that's done, then you can lift and bring, slide the lid on, and go ahead and attach all these to the uprights and close it up. I got you lift point things like we do, just to give it some added strength, top and bottom. You burn those. So just to make sure it's nice and strong, because yeah, like I say, this thing is almost 22 feet, and we're going to be lifting it here and here. So we want to make sure that this thing's super rigid. And you've done this before. Basically, you're going to be using muscle power to bend all these tabs over. Once you get these done in the brake, then you just hand bend these, and these pockets will be where the white on white slides right in for your push throughs. So you have a 5-inch deep pocket working at optimal level for LEDs, and then they'll just live in here. So you can see where it's notched there, it's notched there. So you're going to have a 5-inch deep pocket right in this area. And I went ahead and made the white on white just big enough, it'll be sort of puzzle piece. You'll have to sort of get it in there, work the puzzle, but I think you should be able to kind of bend it in there and make it happen. Screws will be from the back. The 165s are on the white on white. You'll use number 10s on the back and get all that done. Like I said, there's no primary power in this. You're going to run everything down. To save route time, I went ahead and just did 2-inch circles for running wire rather than cutting out big things. I understand it saves a little bit of weight, but I did some rough calculations and it only saves like 20 pounds. So speaking of weight, I did a quick calc on this thing, and you're going to be pushing 600 pounds when it's all said and done, which is still a bargain for as big as this thing is. But just know that once it starts to get heavy and big, you maybe want to assemble this outside so it's ready to lift. But don't build it into a place that you're going to trap yourself. That's all I'm saying. Especially once you put it on some carts, make sure it's on carts, on there really well, because it's going to get heavier and heavier and heavier. So you got almost 300 pounds just in the faces alone. So that's, there's not really much you could do to put it on a diet. It's just a big sign. This little guy here, like I say, keep an eye out for this splice. This is just to back up and stabilize the seam for the 2 push-through faces at the bottom. So you'll see where this jig on the front is a specialized jig that has a tab that will slide through the slot that you see right here. I have S for seam right through there, and that will jut down and allow you to hook up that piece right there and tack it in place, and that's going to stabilize that seam. So that's the point here. Yeah, just hang on. I'm jumping all around. I know that, but you guys know what's up. The jigs are all symmetrical. The jigs are the same, except for this one is for the front. The front, and all of the front ones here are stubbies. They're little shorties because they have to clearance the push-through area. So that's the only difference. And then on the backside, since we don't have the added strength of lordsing on the faces on the backside, the jigs are bigger. And just make sure all of these get really welded up well, because with removable faces, we don't have that added strength of shear wall strength, you know, like we get from the front. So just make sure everything's welded up nice. But like I said, all these jigs here, other than just the couple I pointed out, and the front ones down here, they're all universal. So you can swap them out wherever they need to go. But as far as that's concerned, you guys are all, you know, you guys know how to do that. One other thing is I've got D, B, you know, A, B, C, and then the bottom ones I went ahead and doubled those. So a double D, yeah, a double B, all of that, those all belong to the bottom here, and then the single A, B, C you'll see there. So that way you know which one goes to which, because these face up with flange up and these face with flange down. So that way it creates this pocket of push-through area right down here. So running wire, you're going to run all the wire down. Like I said, power is going to be in the base, the existing base. So cut list, you know, you got 2x4. Make sure you get a couple sticks in. And then these are all your usual suspects of cutting up some 2x2. 45s are the verticals. Yeah, looks like I counted. No, that's good right there. Look, edit on the fly. Boom. So you need 6 of those. Yep. So that's that. But those are the verticals. These are the reveal down here. So if for install, you've got these plates. There was a little back and forth as far as the base 24 or is the base 26. Even if the base is 26, I have it drawn at 24 inches here across. So these would be the square tubes that the existing base is made out of. This is our sign here with the 2x4 running at the base. This is the angle there. This is our reveal. So if it's 4x4 and it's 24 inches, then I brought in some 8-inch long bolts. You'll see where they just clearance right there. You can see my previous video of how to use DXF files to mock this up. And then so that way it's gonna be short. So I got these spanner washers. So basically you're just gonna take this washer, you know, drill through, and if you miss this, fine. If you catch a crossbar, then perfect, because then you can just bolt it to that. So anytime the existing frame has a crossbar, great, but it's not imperative that you hit exactly, because there are crossbars, obviously. So our sign will sit on the crossbars, and then you'll just go ahead and use this as a big old washer, and then you can just suck this up against there, and this will clamp the sign to the existing base. I brought in 7-inch bolts as well, just in case this thing's made out of 3x3. So since we didn't have any hard measurements, but also if the sign is 26 inches wide, you still have enough to grab. So this should work for kind of all sorts of things happening. So, but just bring these bolts with you. You're going to need 1/2-inch hardware, bring all that. But like I said, I got these 3-inch washers ready to go, so you can use those. I suggest, I mean, you can drill anywhere you want, but if you want to hit the center of this, look for, when you go out to install it, look for these holes here where the self-tapper holes will be, and these self-tappers are in the center of that. So if you just pick anywhere, I have a layout of 10 total, so you'll see where you're missing, you know, you should miss vital things. So you'll have like dead center, you could have 2, but if you drill your hole kind of X marks the spot, line it up there, burn through, and then you can just drill close to that. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then sort of just somewhere over here, and you could drill through. So if you have a total of 10 bolts, 5 on each side, I think this thing will be fine. Even if you think that you only need 4, then you can go ahead and scooch over and kind of do wherever you want. I'm just saying that you'll see these holes, that's your center of your reveal. So if you kind of aim for that area, but nothing ever goes as planned. So there's plenty of room to improvise here. You can figure out whatever you need to do. So, and then all of these holes will be electrical collection points. plus their UL, they can drain and all that. So feel free to run all your wires and collect to any of these holes that will work their way through. They're meant to clearance. You can see where they are going to miss the cross braces. So got plenty of area to run your leashes down. So anyway, I think that's it. Like I say, it's just mostly a big giant version of everything we do, but I think I pointed out all the weird stuff. Let me just do a quick look here. Got the LED trays, got the faces front and back. Oh, right. So when it comes time to Bondo all these shut, you're going to have, these are 0.22 for number 10s. I'm hoping that Prep can tell the difference between these, because they'll want to go ahead and Bondo all the other holes. Maybe point it out to Prep, or if you like, I've seen you guys sort of trace with a temporary marker, fine. But I didn't want to take the time to circle every circle hole. But down here, I made the point of doing that. So these are routed face up, and you'll notice where the light bar goes. Look for reference kisses there. Point out to Prep that we do not want to Bondo those. So, and that's for the middle part here. These are face up. So you'll see reference kiss, reference kiss, reference kiss. That's the light bar. Where all the letters go, again, just have them not, make sure that they don't, Bondo up the 22s. As far as power is concerned, I went ahead and left the power off the light bar on purpose. So make a mental note. You're going to need to drill through the light bar, because I didn't know what would be best for you guys. Like if you guys want to collect it in the middle and maybe do 2 throughs like here or whatever. So you're going to want to like mount this onto the thing and then drill through wherever you want to, run it through. So like I say, I didn't know if it'd be better to have like multiple leashes or whatever. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to do the power through on the light bar. So, so top skins, got that. Main work page, we're good. I think we're good on all that. You got your jigs, lift points. Yep. Looks like that's it. Okay, well, I think that's it. If you have any questions, hit me up.